Hello friends, welcome to EPG Parshala. I am Dr. Sandeep Walia, Head of the Department, University Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Chandigarh University. Today, we are going to discuss the module Customs, Operations and Procedures for Indian Nationalities under the paper Aviation Industry, Ticketing and Frontier Formalities. After completing this unit, the students will be able to understand the meaning of the customs, to become familiar with the import procedures followed in India. Will understand and become familiar with the export procedures followed in India. Students, Customs is the official department who is responsible for administering and collecting the duties or charges levied by a government or imported goods. This department at the airport or at the port or border post is the responsible for collecting the tariff and also controlling the movement of transferring of goods like animals, transports, prohibited items into or out of the country. Generally, in any country, the movement of the people is controlled and monitored by immigration department or in authorities of any country in the world. In each and every country, there is a separate department called Immigration Department, which takes care of the immigration related activities or work. The duties of the Immigration Department includes check the appropriate travel documents like passports, visas and also verify their credentials that they are eligible to enter or not into to the country visited. It is the duty of the Immigration Department to check for those people who are required to arrest at the national and international level against their arrest warrants. Different countries follows different rules and regulations pertaining to the immigration which is being enforced by Customs Department. In most of the countries, it is done according to the various agreements and international laws. The Customs Department of the Indian government charge a tax or customs dues or cess to the importers for importing or transferring of goods from the other countries to India. The customs duty may vary as per the classification of the goods or the baggage, etc. All the airports and ports in India are having the customs department and their offices, counters at the designated area within the port or at the airport. Once any passengers is cleared from the customs check, then they are allowed to come into the country, and if they are not cleared by the customs department, they are not allowed to enter into the country. In India, the goods may be imported and exported by using the different means of transportation like sea, air and land. It may be done through parcels or as baggage carry by the passengers while on trip or journey. The formalities and procedures of customs also vary depending on the nature of goods or classification of the goods and also on the mode by which they are going to be imported or exported. Dear students, let us now discuss about customs help desk or declaration counter. After arrival at the Indian airport, the passengers are required to fill the customer declaration certificate at custom declaration counter before moving towards the counters of the airline for obtaining the boarding pass. To check the baggage, no stamping or baggage check is done by customs. However, in case of any doubt or suspicion or maybe random routine check, sometimes the baggage of the passenger may also be checked. In case any passenger is having query or questions in their mind regarding any goods or item to carry along with them they may contact to the custom officer of the airport at the custom facilitation counter. The following are the points that should bear in the mind of the passenger departing from the Indian airports. If any passenger is carrying or exporting a high value item like made of gold or diamond etc., they are required to get the certificate by the custom authority. So, they may not get charged with custom duty while returning to India. It is mandatory to carry physical verification of the goods to obtain the export certificates. In case any passengers are carrying jewelry items, they are required to contact the Precious Cargo Clearance Center located near airport well in advance before the day of the departure. All the Indian passengers are now allowed to keep up to Rs 25,000 in Indian currency. They are not supposed to carry more than this amount of the limit. The passengers travelling to Nepal and Bhutan are allowed to carry only Rs 100 or smaller denominations, and they are not supposed to carry Rs 500 and Rs 1000 denominations. On the part of the foreign currency, Indian residents are allowed to carry as much as they want, but the same should be issued by the Reserve Bank of India or authorized foreign exchange dealer or the agent. Tourists who are visited India are not supposed to take back the foreign currency more than when they came to India. Let us now discuss about imports, customs formalities in India. The following are the formalities which are discussed one by one in the order to import the goods to India. Preparation or filing up of bill of entry or cargo declaration form. It is very much clear that any aircraft or ship liners brings any kind of goods to the Indian surface are liable to pay customs dues or charges, as they should seek clearance certificate from the customs department. The goods which are going to be reached at the Indian surface are need to be paid the customs cess or dues by the importer. The goods offloaded by the importer have the option to clear the goods for home consumption after payment of the duties levied, or to clear them for warehousing without immediate discharge of the duties leviable on them in terms of the warehousing provisions built in the Customs Act. In case bill of entry is created through the online system, then there is no requirement to file a formal bill of entry, whereas it is compulsory for the import agents to file a cargo declaration in the prescribed format. It is also mandatory to fill the bill of entry form in detail or full set by using the different copies for different purposes and used in the different color scheme as well. The bill of entry where it is filed is to be submitted in a full set with different copies meant for different purposes and also has to be given different color scheme. The purpose of importation of goods is mentioned in the non-EDI declaration. If it is for own consumption, the passengers are asked to fill it in 4 copies, where original and duplicate copies are retained with the customs and third copy is retained with importer itself, and the last one is given to the supporting bank. On the contrary, non-EDI system, the respective importer will be submitting the other documents like packing list, signed invoice, the bill of landing or airway bill, etc. Importer declarations, GATT form filled, bank draft or letter of credit from the bank, insurance and licenses documents, ad hoc exemption order catalog, technical write-up, no commission declaration, certificate of origin separately split over the value of spares, etc. It is the duty of the importer to ensure and certify the details if any corrections of the information is there while filing the same. In order to avoid any legal consequences, the importer should fill the appropriate information which is best and true to his knowledge. In Indian customer procedures, all the detail under the EDI system, all the information regarding the importers are sent to the service center operator. Under this system, the BE code number is generated and endorsed on the printed checklist, and the same is given back to the CHA or importer or the passenger. Now we will discuss about the assessment. After creating the bill of entry form, the assessment is prepared regarding the commodity which is needed to clear as per the prevailing rate as per the tariff. The import permissibility and assessment of the goods are to be checked by the assessor, and this will be done by the appraiser or the assessing officer working in the customs department. It is the duty of the assessing officer to also check any special permission if required for imported goods or not. If the assessing officer have any doubt about the goods clearance, the importer will ask for proper classification, and the officer may be asked for an examination order in advance for the finalization of assessment of goods. It may also include the sample of the imported goods also. The assessing officer will write about his assessment on the back side of the bill of entry form. Later, it is also checked by the appraising officer in the groups on receipt of the examination reports. He will make a statement of various dues which the importers are liable to pay, like safeguard duties, countervailing and anti-dumping, after the proper classification and assessment of the imported goods. It may be confirmed by sending the same to assistant commissioners, deputy commissioners, and deciding and giving certain limit benefits to the importers on importing certain type of goods. Then after this, the same is sent for the confirmation regarding the certain value limits. The assessment value of the duty is communicated to the importer's representative, asked to importer to deposit the duty in the designated banks or treasury. The same goods are not required to reassess or check by the dock appraising officer. Let us now discuss about the examination of the goods. After valuation and making the payment of the prescribed custom dues by the importers or agents, the goods are further verification, and it is necessary to check its correctness of description of the goods which is filled in the bill of entry form by the importer. To examine properly, a representative of sample is drawn and checked thoroughly. During any missing information, the importer may ask to produce the same before estimating the customs duty. If the assessing officer has a doubt in his or her mind regarding the imported goods and feels that it is essential to go for the sample check before assessing the duty, the appraiser will ask for first check examination, and the same information shall be updated in the bill of entry again. The importer is asked to bring back the bill of entry from then and to assess the customs duty. In case the amount ID is more than 1 lakh, the form shall be countersigned by the assistant or the deputy commissioner. It also further examined after the assessment and clearance of dues, also known as second appraisement. And it's seen that so many import consignments are usually cleared. Only the sample packets are checked on random basis. There is no need to verify each and every packets of the goods imported or transported. there is a facility provided to the importers is called as the green facility. It is provided to certain importers, which means no examination and clearance is required of goods without the routine examination of goods to be imported. Under this, no physical verification is done and the same should be mentioned in while filling up the bill of entry. In this case, only number of description is checked, and it may be checked if in case any doubt arise in the mind of the assessing officer. Execution of bonds. In case any importer wants to avail a concessional assessment under the different schemes, there is need to execute bond or agreement with assisting bank, or any kind of guarantee is required that needs to be produced or submitted. The same should be done or executed in the prescribed formats or forms before the assessing officer. Students, now we'll discuss about the payment of the duty. The customs dues may be paid in the nominated banks or through the TR6 challans. It is very important to check the name and branch of the bank before depositing the same. After depositing the custom dues, the same is further submitted to the customs officer. Then the delivery of goods. After checking and examination of the goods, after making the payment of customs duty or dues, the bill of entry is processed and generated. The same shall be signed physically by custom officer and be written passed out of customs on it. The goods now are free to transfer from the custom department at airport or port to the importer, residence or organization. Export formalities and procedure of goods by passengers or agents. In order to export the goods, the passengers or the agents have to undertake the following formalities. First is registration of the exporters. Prior filling of the form, exporters are required to register themselves with Directorate General of Foreign Trade to get the PAN-based BINO number. This number may be received from the customs systems by applying online. It is compulsory to all the new shipping companies or airline companies to get themselves registered into the systems of the customs in India. Apply for registration for export under special schemes applicable from time to time. In case any passenger or agent want to export the goods by utilizing the prevailing special schemes offered by the government, are required to collect the licenses, DECC book, etc. and should be submitted the same at the customs office. Then the processing of non-EDI shipping bills. The shipping bill is processed after filling the format as prescribed. Bill of Export from Regulations 1991, and it depends upon the classification of the goods. This should be filed along with the original documents like AR4, packing list and invoices, etc. It is duty of the assessing officer to check the value of the goods and their classification and rates of the duties. The said officer marked as let export order. After the thoroughly examination of the goods, the exporter is free to call and consult to the preventive superintendent or to load the goods on the specific vessels for exportation. The next one is shipping bill EDI. The exporters may file a shipping bill EDI by using the services centers of customs department. For the verification of the same, a checklist is generated for the same. It is endorsed and also returned to the exporter. TR6 challan is printed for the goods which attracts the export cess and given to the exporter for depositing the dues in the designated or the nominated branch of the specific banks. there is no copy of shipping bill is provided to the exporter at this time. Then the next one is quota allocation and octroi dues estimations. Here the quota allocation is need to be determined and the same is passed it on the goods, packets, etc. It should be submitted in original to the export cargo department at the time of examination of the same. It serves to furnish the details about the validity of the quota. At the Delhi airport, in EDI system, the same may be verified from the AEPC or tax proceed system. For the purpose of octroi exemption is given after getting the endorsement from the custom officer who marked let export order on the shipping bill. Then the goods arrive at docks. Once the goods arrive at the docks, the exporter may check the octroi exemption along with the other declarations at the service center. At the airport or the port or the cargo terminals, the concerned authorities endorses the quantity of goods actually received and the same also to be mentioned on the back side of the checklist. The seventh is system appraisal of shipping bills. The custom officer possesses the shipping bill on the screen at the service center. There are certain samples may be called for determination of value by the officer and these are also checked by the exporter by contacting at the query center, which is also called the customer care center. The next one is examination of export goods or cargo. Here the export goods are verified and checked as per their quantity, etc. It is carried for knowing any difference between goods actually received. The quantity is entered into the computer system. After this, the electronic shipping bill along with the other original documents are handed over to the dock appraiser. The same shall be returned back to the agent. The next procedure is the difference, if any, between the declaration and physical examination. If the custom office found any difference or discrepancy in actual received good and goods mentioned in declaration form, the information of the variations may be sent to the assistant or the deputy commissioner exports. On the direction of the officer, the agent is advised to meet and solve the query or the dispute regarding the same. If the agent agrees on the same, the shipping bill is processed accordingly. The next step is of loading of goods. After getting the clearance from the assessing officer, the goods are stuffed or loaded in the containers and the copy let export is being issued by the custom officer. The copy should be handed over to the steamer agent. The same copy shall be given to the preventive officer by the steamer agent for allowing the particular shipment. The bulk cargo and the loading of the same under the supervision of the preventive officer. Testing of samples. The samples of the export goods are checked and tested by the appraisee dock. While checking the three types of copies of the test memos is prepared in triplicate. The first copy or the original copy shall be sent to the respective export agency. Second copy, that is duplicate copy, shall be attached to the samples of goods, and third copy, which is the triplicate copy, shall be given and retained with the second sample. The samples may be asked for the visual inspection and verification of description, market value, inquiry, etc. by the assistant commissioner or the deputy commissioner. It is possible to correct and make the amendments in the shipping bill after the approval of assistant commissioner or the deputy commissioner export on behalf of joint or additional commissioner. After generating of the shipping bill number, the goods are transferred to export dock for making the amendments. Unlike let export, and if it is already done, the same then amendments may be accepted and approved by the in charge of the export section. The same is processed through EDI system by the officer. The exact status may be asked at the query counter, that is the service counter. The EGM is also sent to the customs EDI system by the steamer agent, so that the physical export of the goods is confirmed, also to sanction the drawback claims. The next step is to the production of shipping bills. Shipping bills are generated after getting the no objection from let export by the appraiser in duplicate. The first copy is for the agent and the second copy is for the customs department. The appraisee get the signature on the examination report and shipping bill from the officer of CHA and custom officer. Thereafter, both the copies of the shipping bills are signed and stamped at the specified place. The appraiser return the exporter copy to the exporter or his agent. After this, the shipping bill is generated by the system and the copy of the same is retained along with the exporter copy in the dock. The details filed in the system pertaining to quota, etc. is checked at the time of carrying the examination of the representative of samples. The next step is the preparation of Export General Manifest. All the export agents shall submit the details like Export General Manifest and shipping bill etc. to the customs department within the 7 days. The 7 days may be calculated from their date of journey start. Apart from computerized, it may be filled and entered manually in the register of the export department. The export department gives the acknowledgement receipt to the shipping agents or the airliners, where the date and time is mentioned when it is being received by the export department. The next step is let export order. At this stage, all the verification or inspections and assessments have been done and the appraiser in consultation with the custom officer issues let export order as a proof of export customs procedures and formalities. Then the shipping bill is generated in triplicate where one copy is for exporter, second copy is for exchange and the third copy is for control copy is submitted with the RBI of India through Exporters Bank, and the third one is given to exporter agents or streamliners to load the transfer and the same of the port or airport at the final destination. Dear students, let us now summarize what we have discussed in this module. At the airport or port or the border post, the customs or the immigration department is responsible for collecting the tariff and also controlling the movement or transferring of goods like animals, transports, prohibited items into or out of the country. Generally, in each country, the movement of people is controlled and monitored by immigration department or some other authorities in the world. In each and every country, there is a separate department called the immigration department which takes care of the immigration related activities. There are the various formalities and procedures which are generally followed by the customs department to import or export the goods or the commodities within India or to the outside of India. With these words, I sum up the module. Thank you.